Hey guys, welcome back. This is part 2 of our video series on the top coding interview questions in Streams API. In part 1, we discussed about the top coding interview questions in Streams API using a list of strings. In this video, let us discuss about the top coding interview questions that can be asked in Streams API using a list of integers or array of numbers. We will discuss both the use cases, that is using list of integer objects and using array of primitive numbers, that is primitive integer values. What are the questions? Just like the previous case, here also I have created all the classes and kept them ready. The first question is I need to get both the even numbers and odd numbers from a list of integers and array of numbers. My list is ready. To convert a list into a string, the method is string dot. We need to provide the condition to check for even number. Already we have learned that filter is a method which takes predicate as parameter. So it is dot filter. We need to provide the condition. Here we are providing the implementation of predicate interface. Predicate is a functional interface. We can provide the implementation using lambda expression. The one that is coming inside is a number. To check for even number, it is number %2 double equal to 0. Then you can get it back again in a list, or you can use for each and print them directly. Let me use for each. For each takes consumer as parameter. Here also again you can use lambda expression or you can use method reference. Both will work perfectly fine. Similarly, let us try to get the even numbers for an array. To convert an array into a string, the method is arrays.string. It takes arrays parameter. See the return type. It is not a stream of angular bracket integer. These are all primitive streams which are called as specialized streams. In our case, because we are going to pass an int array, we will get int stream. Arrays.string by passing numbers array. Again, now I can use dot filter and dot for each. So both the code should return me the even numbers. Let me have the same numbers in both the places. I will copy these numbers only for the array also. Done. Let me run this now. Now we have got the even numbers from both the list and the array. Okay. How to get the odd numbers? It's very simple. Just go and change the logic here. And run it. You will get only the odd numbers. Fine. We will move on to the second question. Get the even numbers and odd numbers between a particular range. So I want to get the even numbers between 10 to 100, or I want to get the odd numbers between 10 to 100. How this can be done? For this we will use the specialized string. I will go back to Eclipse. So this time we need to use the specialized stream int stream directly. I want to get the list of even numbers between 10 and 100. If you want to include both 10 and 100, then use range closed. So in our case, I want to include both 10 and 100. 10, 100. The return type of this is a int string. Once you get an int string, again you can use the same methods, dot filter and dot for each. Let me copy it from the previous program. This is for even number. Let us do the same for odd number also. Later on we will partition it and we will put them in separate arrays or separate list. That's it. Let me run this. So first it is returning the list of even numbers and it is returning a list of odd numbers. Fine. We'll move on to the next question. Sort the list of integers in descending order and in ascending order. We will do it. sorted numbers. Okay, first convert your list into a string. Dot sorted. We don't have to use the second method as of now because we are going to do the sorting in ascending order. If you want to do the sorting in descending order, in that scenario you need to implement comparator and provide the implementation. Dot sorted, dot for each. Now we will use method reference system.out :println. And now for this it is arrays.stream. By passing numbers array, dot sorted, dot for each. And let us check it out. It is getting printed continuously. Maybe let me add a println statement in between. And the array values are different. Let me run it. Okay, now here we have got the output. Now I want to sort it in descending order. Now in this case, let us implement lambda expression. A comma B arrow B minus A. This is the implementation that I have provided for comparator. If you notice, in case of sorted method, we have only one single method without any parameters. This means we are not having the other sorted method with parameter that you have seen in list of integer. Why? Because in case of sorted, it takes comparator as parameter. Comparator can work only with list of objects. In this case, it is a list of primitive values. So if I have to use this particular sorted, I need to convert my number, primitive number, into wrapper class object. That is int into integer or double into uppercase double, lowercase float into uppercase float, and so on. How this can be done? It can be done using two ways. I can directly use map method to convert my primitive data type into object, or I can use one method called as boxed, which will automatically box your primitive data type into object. Both the methods let us see now. So first is, let me use boxed. See the return type now. I am having stream of integer. Just similar to this one. When I call numbers.stream, I am getting stream of integer. The same way, I am having a primitive array. I am converting it into a specialized stream. See the return type, it is int stream. When I call boxed, it is getting converted into stream of integer. So whatever operations you can perform using a list of integer, that can be done after this particular line. Because now you have converted it from int stream into stream of integer, which is stream of objects. Now I can use the same line. This time it should not give me any error. Okay, let me run this. So it's printing in descending order. Okay, now instead of boxed, I can also use map. What is the purpose of map? Map takes function as parameter. Function interface takes an input of one type and converts it into an output of the same type or different type. As in, taking input as string, converting string uppercase, input as integer, output as string, input as string, output as integer, and so on. Now in our case, I want to convert it into object, int to integer object. So use the method map to object, map to obj. It takes an input as number, arrow. Choose the method which will return you an integer object. So earlier you can directly use new integer, which is a constructor which takes number as parameter. But now it is deprecated. So use integer dot value of, which takes a primitive data type as parameter but returns an integer object. Okay. Dot sorted, dot for each. This time also I should get the same output. Okay, it is printing it in descending order. This also can be replaced using method reference. Dot map to object. The method is from integer class, integer double colon value of. It is enough. Okay, it has to return me the same output. Okay, one more way also is there. We are using lambda expressions for doing the sorting. Instead of that, there is one other way. We can use the static method of comparator. If you have watched my previous video where we have worked with list of strings, we have used the static method. Why? What is the purpose? When I am using the static method, that method already has the logic that what I need. So I don't have to sit and write this particular logic that we have written over here. So what I can do? Dot sorted. I will use this method. I will comment it. I will comment the previous line. Use comparator dot comparing. Okay, let me click on this particular method. See, whatever you have been doing over there within sorted method, it is done automatically by this comparing method. So we don't have to sit and write the logic, but we need to specify with what we want to compare. Just specify with what you want to compare. Automatically the comparison will happen. Comparator dot comparing. This method takes function as parameter. We need to specify with what we want to compare. If you are working with a list of strings, you might be comparing them in alphabetical order or by the length of each and every string. Here I just want to compare the numbers and print it in descending order. So what I can do, I can use the same logic. Integer dot value of by passing the number. I just want to pass the number as such. That's all. As in you can give it like this also. Directly number hyphen number. Because I just want the number. It is an integer value, right? Or you can directly give it as integer double colon value of using method reference. But what it will do when you are giving in this manner, it will print it in ascending order only. We want it in descending order. In that case, we need to use dot reversed method. Okay, let me just show you here. Let us check whether it is printing it in ascending order. See, the top one is getting printed in ascending order. What we will do is, there is a method called as reversed, dot reversed. I am getting an error because we are trying to compare the integer objects and reverse it, which is not possible. So we need to convert it into a primitive value. To convert it into a primitive value, use the method comparing int. Then whatever is coming inside is an integer object. I need to convert it into a primitive value and pass it on to reversed method. So let us see what is the method that helps us to convert this number into primitive value. Number dot int value. I will replace this method with integer dot int value. Now what happens? The object gets reversed or converted into a int primitive value. And we can call reversed on that. Okay. The same thing can be applied to this also. It will work perfectly fine. Let me do it again separately. Comparator dot comparing int and pass integer double colon int value. That is, I am converting it back into a primitive type. Then calling reversed method dot reversed dot for each. Okay. In all the three cases, it has to return me the list and the array in descending order. Fine? Yes. So I hope it is clear. So you need to be extra careful when you are using these methods. You should know from what you need to convert into what. If you notice, in the second case, I am trying to convert my primitive type into object because sorted method does not take primitive data types for comparison. It accepts only objects. But again, if I want to reverse it, if I am using the static method, though you are passing the static method with objects, The reversed method can work only with the primitive types. So we need to convert it back into primitive type and call reversed method. Okay. Now we will move on to the next question. Calculate the sum and average of numbers in an array and list of numbers. Let me have the same numbers in both the cases. First convert it into stream dot. There are two ways of getting the sum in case of list of numbers. Either you can convert these integer values into primitive int values and call sum method, or you can use reduce method. We will see both. First is dot map to int. This map to int will convert your integer object into primitive int value. Number int value dot sum. Very simple. Okay. And again, instead of using this line, you can use dot map to int integer double colon int value dot sum. It returns the total sum and we can print it. So sum. For the same list, let us try to use reduce method. Numbers dot string dot reduce. This reduce is used for performing aggregation operation. Now in my case, I can use the first one by providing the implementation of binary operator. Binary operator. So it takes two values and you can provide the implementation using lambda expression. As in x comma y arrow x plus y. See the return type of reduce. It is optional of integer. Already we have learned, if you are using optional, you should not call get method directly. You need to check if it is available, print it, or else do not print anything. So let me get it in an optional. So I will end this line with a semicolon. We will have it in a single line only. The return type is optional of integer. OPT number. Import optional. Now I can use the method dot if present. If it is present, print the number. Again use method reference. System dot out double colon println. There are different methods of optional. You can use whichever you want. Okay. Here I am printing sum. I should print total. Fine. Now let us do the same thing for array. We will calculate the sum. I will have a println statement in between. After formatting, this looks good. Convert your array into a stream. Arrays dot stream by passing the numbers array. And here directly you can call sum method, which is way too simple. Already we have got the variable total. In the next line, let me print it. Okay. So we have learned how to calculate the sum of list of integers and sum of values in an array. In all the three cases, it is working perfectly fine. Now let us try to get the average. First we will try with this one. Convert your list into stream, numbers dot stream. To print the average of a list of integers or array of numbers, just like sum method, we are having average method. The return type of average is optional double. So similar to this, we can use map to int method, or we can convert my integer into double object and call average method. Both will work perfectly fine. Dot map to double. Now I need to convert my integer object into double value. Okay, so dot double value. These are all very old methods. It is only that I am using method reference. If you are not comfortable, directly you can pass number arrow number dot double value. This also will work perfectly fine. Dot average. See the return type, it is optional double. This means that you need to get the result in an optional double value and then call get method, just like the previous case. So let me get it in optional double. That is the correct approach. So let us follow it properly. See the difference between optional of integer and optional double. This is a specialized optional which works only with primitive types. This is an optional which works only with objects. Optional of double within angle bracket. Optional of integer within angle bracket. These all work with objects. That is optional of employee. But in this case, it is optional double, optional integer. They are all specialized optional classes. Okay, let me give OPT average. This time we will use a different method. If OPT average dot is present, then SISO average plus use the method OPT average dot get us double. Okay, either you can use this or you can use this particular logic to return the value. I have imported optional double also. So this we have done for list of integers. Now the same thing we will try it for array of numbers. So again arrays dot string dot average. It returns an optional double value. So here also I will retrieve it in the same variable OPT average, and now this time let me use dot if present. See, it takes double consumer. Again it is a specialized class for primitive data types. System dot out double colon println. So you should know the difference between consumer, double consumer. Consumer works on objects, double consumer, int consumer, they work on primitive data types. Okay, let me run this. So it's printing the average for array of numbers. Okay, all good. We will move on to the next question. Find the maximum and minimum number in an array and list of numbers. Whenever you are working with these kind of aggregate operations, it is very easy if you are working with array of numbers, because you can apply that methods directly, dot sum, dot average, dot max, dot min. But if you are working with list of integers, then it is kind of tricky. You need to use the appropriate methods. Let me open the class. First, let us find the maximum number in the array. Arrays dot stream by passing the numbers array dot max. That's all. How simple it is. The return type is an optional int. Just like how we have seen optional double, here the return type is optional int. It is not optional of integer, but it is optional int. OPT number equal to, and in the next line I can print it. OPT number dot if present. I am using lambda expression. The maximum number is max. Okay. Now let us do the same thing for list. In case of list, as I told you, we cannot use it directly. We have to convert it into primitive type and call max method, or there is one method max. We need to use comparator dot comparing, just like we have done in the previous case. We will try it out. We will do both the cases. First is numbers dot stream dot max. Comparator dot comparing. So with what you want to compare, you just want to compare the numbers. So directly you can give number hyphen number or integer double colon value of dot get. It will return a integer value. What is the difference? If you notice, in this case, if you call OPT number dot get as int, it returns an int value. But here it returns an integer value. That is the only difference. Okay. Let me get it in a variable. Int max is equal to and max plus max. Okay, this is one way. The other way is again as usual, convert it into a stream dot map to int integer double colon int value dot max optional int dot directly I am giving get as int. So this also is going to return the maximum number. That is the largest number. Print the maximum number. Fine. So either you can use dot max method with comparator as parameter, or you can convert your integers into primitive numbers and then call the aggregate method max directly. Okay. In all these cases it should work fine. It's giving me an error where, so the same variable I am using it again. Let me add one more x. You got the output. So same way we will try for minimum or smallest number. Technically this is the largest number and the smallest number. I have given it as max and min number based on the method name. So now we will copy the same thing, and wherever it is max I will change it to min. That's all. And here also map to int dot min get as int. We will do the same thing for array also, and directly I will use get as int, just like the previous case, and I will give it as min. I am using the same variable name, sys min. Let me run this. Now you are getting the minimum value in both the array and list of numbers. Okay, very good. We will move on to the next question. We are moving on to the next category, that is intermediate. Remove duplicate elements from an array and list of integers. Let me open the class. Remove duplicates. For removing duplicates, the method is distinct. Numbers.stream dot distinct dot for each. System.out double colon println. Same thing here also. Arrays dot stream numbers array dot distinct dot for each. That's all. Run this. So we have got the output. Let me add a println statement in between. The duplicate elements are removed. 12 and 86 is removed from the list and the array. We'll move on to the next question. Convert a list or array of integers to a list of their squares and print them. We will try it out. Squares list. So let us not have this big numbers. We will have simple numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Same way here also. I need to convert it into squares of these numbers. So it is numbers.stream dot. To convert an object of one type into another type, we have to use map. I can use the method as number, arrow, number into number you can give, or you can use math.power of. There are so many methods. So to start with, I will give it in this way. Dot for each. Use method reference. System.out double colon println. Let us do the same thing for array. Arrays.stream dot numbers array dot map. Let me use the method of math class. Number, arrow, math.power. The first parameter is the number. The second parameter should be 2. Dot for each. Okay, what is the error it is giving me? Cannot convert from double to int. This map.power takes double as parameter. See, it takes double as parameter. But what is coming inside is of type int. So you might be wondering, int obviously can be upcasted to double. But it is not int value, but it is a stream of int values. So you have to convert it into a stream of double values. So for that, let us use the method map to double, which will convert a stream of int value into a stream of double values. So now directly I can use math.power. And suppose say I don't want to have this dot o again, I can use dot map to int. The input that is coming inside is of type double value, double val, and what I want is I want to convert it into int primitive value. So let me downcast it. Int of double val and dot for each. Let me run this. Now here we have got the same output. If you want to retain it in double as such. If you want to convert it back into int, then you can use back into int again. Or simply use this method, which is very simple, which will not give you any trouble at all. If I am using number into number means it will just multiply the numbers and give the same value just like the previous case. Okay. So these are different ways which I am specifying. If you are attending an interview, any of these scenarios can be asked. If you are giving this, they might ask, can I use the inbuilt method which is available? Of course, yes. In that case, you can use math.power. I want to convert it back into integer. What should I do? In that case, use map to int. Okay. Yeah. Now we will move on to the next question. Find the sum of squares of all the numbers in the list or array. The same question only. On top of it, now we are going to calculate the sum. That's it. Let me open the class. So squares sum. So I will copy this. I'll come to square sum. I will remove these two. Yeah. We don't want to print it, but I want to get the sum. In the first case, we have used map. Whatever is coming outside is of type integer only. So I cannot use sum method directly. I need to use dot reduce method. Already we have seen how it can be done. This time I will show you the second one, where the initial value, like you write na, so int sum is equal to 0, sum is equal to sum plus x, like that I am giving the initial value as 0 and then x comma y arrow x plus y. And see the return type of this reduce, it is an integer value only, ended with a semicolon. Int total is equal to, so square sum total. We will see the other way, numbers dot string dot map to int. When you are using map to int, the integer object is getting converted into int. That's all. Number arrow, number star number. Now directly I will get the sum method dot sum. Okay, so I can give total equal to. So performance wise, which is best way or which is the optimum way to do it? The second one. Why? Because we are converting all the objects into primitive numbers which will not occupy so much of memory, and we are trying to call the sum method. Let me print the total. So same way we will try for array. I don't have to do any of this. I'll directly use map to double dot sum. Double sum is equal to. So sum. The same story again. If you want to convert it back into int, use map to int or use this method directly, number into number, instead of using this. So in that case, you don't even have to use map to double. Directly you can use map and finish this off, just like how we have done it over here. Let me run this. All the three cases it has to print 55. Yeah. We will move on to the next question. Get the second largest number and second smallest number in a list or array. Second largest or second smallest. Both the list and array are having the same set of numbers. We will get started. Convert it into a stream. What is the logic for this? First, let us sort the list of elements in descending order. Then I will get the first largest number, second largest number, third largest number and so on. After getting this, I can skip the first element. So the first largest number will be gone. Then I can retrieve the first element from the list. That's what we are going to do. Dot sorted. Already we have seen how to implement descending order using lambda expression. A comma B arrow B minus A, because we wanted it descending order. Let me give dot find first. It returns an optional. In that I am calling dot get method. It returns the first element. This will return the first largest number. Int largest. For getting the largest number in the list of integers, we have done it in a different way. We have used the method max. Then also we have used the method max of comparator. Okay. But in this case, we are sorting it and we are trying to print it. Let me print CISO largest. This is printing 100, but I want to print the second largest number. So what I can do, after sorting it, I will skip the first element. Skip of 1. So 100 will be gone. Then after that, whatever is coming will be the second largest number. Now it is 90. We will try the same thing for array also. Let me change the variable name as second largest. Arrays dot stream dot numbers array dot sorted. Again, the problem here is you cannot use the implementation of comparator inside sorted. So what we can do, dot map to object and use integer double colon value of to convert your primitive data type into object. Now I can use the same logic. And guys, please do not use dot get method directly. You have to get it in an optional and then check whether it is available. Then only you need to print it. Second largest. Run it. What if I want to print the second smallest number in the array? In that case, I can directly use sorted. That is, I am sorting the elements in ascending order. So from the smallest number, I will get second smallest number, third smallest number and so on. Now here also I can skip the first element, then I can print it. If without skipping, let us print it. So this becomes second smallest and the return type is int. First we are printing the smallest number, which should be 11. And I will uncommon skip. Now this prints 12. Okay, all good. We will move on to the next question. Get the first number greater than 50 in a list or array. This is very simple. You can use a filter and you can do it. First number. I am having two different sets. That's okay, fine. We will use numbers dot stream dot filter. The logic over here is number should be greater than 50 dot find first. It returns an optional and called get method. Int first number equal to CISO first number. The same logic we can write it for array also. Arrays dot stream by passing numbers array, again dot filter dot get, all these things are same. Here it should be get as int. That is the only difference. This get method returns integer as return type. This get as int returns int as return type. But if you notice, we are getting it in an int variable only. Auto unboxing happens automatically. First number. Let me run it. In the first case, I should get 67. In the second case also I am getting 67. But my array is different. I have not returned the value at all. First number equal to. Let me run this. Yeah, good. Okay. The first number that is greater than 50. Okay, all good. Let us move on to the next question. It comes under the advanced category. Get the sum of numbers of a two-dimensional array and the sum of numbers of a list of integers. Let us try this out. Let us first create a list of integers. This is a multi-list equal to arrays.asList, within which each element or each index is going to have a list of integers. In our case, let us have two indices, within which let me create the first list. Arrays.asList 1, 2, 3, 4. comma, again arrays dot as list 5, 6, 7. So my list is having two values. Each value is a list again. Similar to that, let me also create a two-dimensional array. Int square bracket 2dim is equal to new int of again 2 square brackets within curly braces. Let me create a two-dimensional array with 3 rows, 2 columns. 1, 2, first row, second row 3, 4, the third row 5, 6. Okay. Now, for this question, we need to get the sum of elements of a two-dimensional array using streams API and again sum of elements of a list of integers using streams API. How we can achieve it? For this, we need to convert our two-dimensional array into a stream of individual values and our list of integer into a stream of individual values. For this, we will be using a method called as flat map. Let me explain this with a pictorial representation. First, we will work with the two-dimensional array. This is my two-dimensional array. It has 3 rows and 2 columns. The first row has 1, 2, second row 3, 4, third row is 5 and 6. A two-dimensional array is nothing but a stack of one-dimensional arrays. So, here I am having 3 one-dimensional array stacked on each other. This is a one-dimensional array, this is a one-dimensional array, this is a one-dimensional array. Okay. How do you convert a one-dimensional array into a stream? That is stream of individual values. Say for example, here I am having a one-dimensional array with 4 values. Let me give the name as 1dim. Now I want to convert it into a stream. So for that, we have used method as arrays.stream by passing 1dim. When we do this, it is getting converted into a stream of individual values, as in it will be converted into 1, 2, 3, 4. This is a stream. Because these are primitive values, we get the stream as a int stream. Already we have seen it in multiple examples. After this, we can perform any number of intermediate operation and end it with a terminal operation. If I want to get the sum, directly I can call dot sum method or dot reduce method. This is what we have seen. Now here I am having a two-dimensional array. Let us give the name of this array as 2dim. Here also, to convert a two-dimensional array into a stream, we need to use the same method arrays.stream. Arrays.stream. Let us pass 2dim. When you pass the two-dimensional array to be converted into a stream, now what happens is, it will not be converted into individual values. Rather, it will be converted into a stream of one-dimensional array. Each one is a block. The first one-dimensional array is this, 1 and 2. The second one-dimensional array is this. And this is the third one-dimensional array. They go as individual blocks. So, what type of stream is this? This is a stream of int array. This is a primitive array. Now, can I perform intermediate or terminal operation on this? You cannot. So, for that, you need to convert it into a stream of individual values. To perform that operation, we are going to use flat map. Flat map is used for flattening the array into individual values. So, on this, let us call flat map. Flat map takes function as parameter. What is coming inside this flat map is an array. So, let me have the array name as 1. Now, I need to convert this one-dimensional array into individual values. What is the method? Arrays.stream. So, directly here I can give arrays.stream by passing 1. When I do that, I will get a stream of individual values. Just like how you have got here, I will get the values 1, 2, 3, 4. And what is the type? Because we are working with primitive data type, we will get the specialized stream int stream. I hope it is clear. If you are working with a primitive array. When you call arrays.stream, it will get converted into a specialized stream, which is int stream. When you are working with a two-dimensional array, when you call arrays.stream method, it will not give a stream of individual values. It will provide you with a stream of int array. Then you have to use flat map to flatten the values to get the values one by one as a stream. Okay. Now let us try this out. Let us get started. Arrays.stream by passing to dim the array name. Now let me keep the cursor here. See the return type. The return type is a stream of int array. Now what should I do? On this I need to call dot flat map. If you notice, there are many overloaded methods for flat map. If you are working with objects, that is list of integer, list of employee or set of integers, in that case you can use flat map. What will be the return type? The return type will be a stream of integer or stream of double D capital or stream of employee. In our case, we are working with primitive type. I want to convert the values into individual int values. So we have to use flat map to int. What will be the return type? It is int stream. Okay. So it means here instead of flat map, you can use flat map to int. This is the method that we will be using. I have just given the generic name flat map, which is used for flattening the values. Okay. Now what is coming inside? It is the one-dimensional array. I need to convert it into a stream. The method is arrays.stream of one-dimensional array. See the return type of this stream. It is int stream. Now that we have got our int stream, we can call the terminal operation sum. This will return the int value. That is sum of all the elements in this particular array. Int sum is equal to sys sum. Let us first check this out. Here we have got the output. Let us do the same thing for list of integer. First we will see the pictorial representation. Now we are working with the list of integer. In our case, we have created a multi-list where the size is 2. The index starts with 0. Now we are having two allocations, 0 and 1. In index 0, we are having a list which has the values as 1, 2, 3, 4. In index 1, we are having the list which is having values as 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. Now, how do we convert a list into a stream? Now, let us take a simple list which has values as 1, 2, 3, 4. The index starts with 0, just like the array. Now, to convert it, I need to call stream method. Let us have the list name as numbers. Numbers.stream. When I call this method, automatically I will get a stream of individual values and the type of the stream is stream of angle bracket integer, because we are working on a list of integer objects. On top of this, I can perform all the intermediate operation and call the terminal operation. Here we want to get the sum of all the elements in this list. So in this case, we cannot call sum method. We have to use reduce method or use map to int and then call sum method. Okay. How can we do this on multilist? In case of multilist also, we are going to use the same method stream. So it is multilist.stream. When we call this method, here also I will get a stream. But this stream will be a stream of list of integer. Why? Here it is stream of integer. It means value 1 is an integer, value 2 is an integer, value 3 is an integer. Here it is stream of list of integer. It means value 1 will be the first list 1, 2, 3, 4. Value 2 will be the second list 5, 6, 7, 8. I cannot perform any intermediate or terminal operation on this directly. I need to flatten it and get the individual values. So, on this, let us call the flat map method directly. Flat map takes function as parameter. What is the input to this flat map, that is to this function interface? It is a list. So, let me take the list. I need to convert this list into a stream. For this, we need to use the same method, list.stream. This will return a list of values 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. The type of the stream will be stream of integer. On this, we can perform all the intermediate and terminal operation. Remember, because it is stream of integer, I cannot call sum method. I have to call reduce method. If I want to call sum directly, in that case, I need to convert it into map to int and then call sum method. Okay. Now, let us check this also. Multilist dot stream. The moment you call stream, see the return type, it is stream of list of integer. I cannot perform any operation on this directly. So, let us call dot flat map. This flat map takes function as parameter. The input to this function is a list. To convert the list into stream, call dot stream method. Now, see the return type, it is stream of integer. The return type of this first line is stream of list of integer. The return type in the second line is stream of integer. Now that you have got it, you can call reduce method directly. Dot reduce. It takes binary operator. We need to get the sum x comma y arrow x plus y. The return type of reduce is an optional. To get the value directly, you can call dot get method. Okay. So, let me have it as int total is equal to and so total. Okay. What if I want to use the sum method? We will try it out again. Now, let me remove these two lines. After getting a stream of integer, I can call map to int, convert my integer value into int value. On top of it, I can call dot sum method. It's giving me an error because instead of int, I have given it as double. Okay. So, this is the other way of doing it. Now, let us run this. Here we have got the output. Okay. So, you need to use flat map when you are working with a list of integer, list of user defined objects or two-dimensional array to flatten the values. We will move on to the next question. Convert an array of integers into a map where the key is the number and value is its square. Now, we need to convert our list and array into a map where the key is the number and the value is the square of that number. Okay, let us get started. First, let us convert it into a stream. Numbers.stream dot. Whenever you are working with a list, after performing all the intermediate operation, you can convert the stream back to a list or to a set or to a map. For that, we will be using the collect method. Here also we are going to use the collect method but directly because we don't have any intermediate operation. This collect method takes static methods of collectors class. Already we have seen few methods. Collectors.partitioning by, collectors.joining, collectors.comparing by. Now here we are going to use collectors.toMap. This toMap method takes two parameters. Both the parameters accept the implementation of function interface. Let me press enter. Let me click on this toMap method. See, it takes the implementation of function interface. The first implementation represents the key of the map. The second implementation represents the value of the map. Okay. Let me go back to the code. So here I need to provide the implementation of function interface which represents the key. The return value represents the key. The second parameter should have the implementation of the function interface where the value should be the square of the number. Okay, so first let us implement it. In case here it is number arrow, I want to have the number itself as the key, so let us return number. Okay, and in the second case it is value, val arrow, I want to return the square of this number, so val star val. Okay, instead of giving it as number, let me have it as key, and here let me have it as number star number. Okay, now see the return type of this collect. It is a map where the key is also an integer, the value is also an integer. In our case the key is the number and the value is the square of the number. Okay, let us get it in a map directly. Map integer comma integer, map numbers is equal to. Okay, in the next line let us iterate it and print it. Map numbers dot for each. It takes by consumer, meaning to say that you need to pass two values. One is the key, the other one is the value. Arrow, siso, key plus value. Let us do the same thing for the array also. First let us convert the array into a string. Arrays dot string dot numbers array. Now the return type of this is an int stream. I cannot call collect method on a primitive stream. So what we need to do? We have to explicitly convert it into an object of stream, that is stream of integer. From int stream we have to convert it into stream of integer. Only then we can call collect method. So you know the method, already we have seen it, map to object. This will help to convert my int stream into a stream of integer. The input is number. To convert it into an integer, I need to call integer dot value of number. I have used lambda expression. Instead of that, we can also use method reference. Map to object integer double colon value of. I can guarantee you, if you have completed all the questions by this time, you will be comfortable working with streams. Then after this, call dot collect method, and I can copy this whole part again. Now rather than getting it in a map, let me use dot for each directly, and this also let me copy it. Okay. So I hope it is clear. If you want to use collectors.toMap, whatever is coming inside should be a stream of integer. We cannot do that using primitive data types. So we have to convert it explicitly into a stream of integer from int stream. For that we have used map to object method. Okay, let me save this and run it. Here we have got the proper output. If you notice, in the second case, the values are not coming intact, just in the way that we have passed. Why? Because we are converting our int values into integer objects. During that time, the order is not preserved. And also when you are converting it into a map, it is getting converted into a hash map. That is why the order is not preserved. I hope this is clear. We will move on to the next question. Partition an array of integers into two groups, even and odd, using streams. Okay, here I have my list and array. What is the exact requirement? I need to identify the even numbers and odd numbers from the list and put it in two different arrays or two different lists. That is the requirement. If you have watched my previous video where we have worked with the streams API using a list of strings, we have performed the same operation. In that case, we try to divide our strings with vowels and without vowels. Here we are trying to divide our integers which are even and which are odd. It is very easy. Let us try it out. Let us first start with a list. Numbers.stream. Okay. What is the method that is used for partitioning? Here also I am going to collect all the values and then partition it into two different lists. For that we will be using the static method of collectors. So it is dot collect collectors dot partitioning by. It takes predicate as parameter. Now this method has to partition the data as even numbers and odd numbers. What is the condition that is required? That condition has to be specified. Predicate, as you all know, it is a functional interface wherein you have to provide the condition. It will either return true or false. Based on the result, you will be getting a list of integers. If the result is true, that is, if the condition is true, you will get a list of integers which are even. If the condition is false, you will get a list of integers which are odd. So what is the return type of collectors dot partitioning by? It is a map where the key is a boolean value, true or false. Getting it? And the value is list of integers. For the first key true, you will get a list of integers. For the second key false, you will get a list of integers. What will be the values in the list of integers? Based on the condition that you are providing now. Okay. Now we have to implement predicate. Number, arrow, I want to get the even numbers. So for true condition, I will have a list of integers which are even. Number percentage true double equal to 0. Okay, let me end it with a semicolon. See the return type. It is a map of boolean and list of integer. I am copying it from here only. Map numbers equal to. Okay, just like the previous case, you can iterate it and print it. I don't want to see the true or false value. As in, I don't want to see the key. I just want to get the even numbers and odd numbers. So what I can do is, I can directly call map numbers dot get of key. What is the key? One is true, the other one is false. If I pass the true key, it is going to return me a list of integers which are even. This is out. Even numbers. Okay. The return type of this is a list. List of integer. For the next one, it is odd numbers get of false, which is the next key. Similar to the list, we can do the same thing for our array also. Convert your array into a stream. Arrays.stream dot numbers array. I cannot call collect method directly, so I need to use map to object. Use method reference integer double colon value of, and again I can call dot collect. And let us use for each this time. Dot for each key comma value. Let me print the key and the value. The key is true means you will get even numbers. If the key is false means you will get the odd number. If the key is true means you will get the even numbers. If the key is false means you will get the odd numbers. Okay. All set. Let me run it. Here you can see the output. Okay. I am getting the even numbers and odd numbers properly as two different lists. We don't have to use for each directly. We can get it in a map, and using the map we can call get method by passing the key. This is a very good approach rather than printing it using for each. Again, it is your choice. We will move on to the next question. Calculate the product of all numbers in an array using reduce. Already we have seen how to use reduce to calculate the sum of integers. We will try the same way for calculating the product of numbers. Let us try it out. Here I am having a list and an array. First convert the list into a stream, numbers.stream dot reduce. Okay, let us have the initial value as 1, not mandatory though. X comma y, arrow, x star y, ended with a semicolon. See the return type of reduce, it is integer, so I can get the product directly now. So print the product. Okay, even we can do this in one single line. Now let us come to the array. In case of array, first let us convert the array into a stream. Arrays.stream by passing numbers array dot. We don't have any method as product, but rather here also we are having a method called as reduce, which takes int binary operator. So we can use this, or you can use the second method. Both will work perfectly fine. If you want to have an initial value, use the second method, just like how I have used in this case. So this is the initial value. Now I don't need anything as such. X comma y, arrow, x star y. And in this case, see the return type of reduce. It is not integer value, it is optional int. So you need to retrieve it using getAsInt method. Guys, always remember, when you are working with optional, you should not call this method get or getAsInt directly. Every time you need to do a check on optional, then only you should call the get method, or else you will get no such element exception. Okay, the return type is a int value. So I am getting in the same variable product. Okay, let us run this. I should get the proper output. Very good. We will move on to the next program. Implement a parallel stream that computes the sum of squares of numbers in an array. We will try this out. So here I have my list and array. Okay, what is the requirement? Implement a parallel stream that computes the sum of squares of numbers in an array or in a list. Already we have seen this particular program without using parallel stream. That is getting the sum of squares of numbers in a list and in an array. So you know how to perform this operation. Then what is the purpose of using parallel stream? When your data set is large or huge, in that scenario you cannot perform sequential operation. Rather, you can divide your set into multiple streams using parallel stream, perform all the computations, and then finally join them to get one single result. It is something like fork and join. This is being used widely only when the data set is huge. Do not use it for performing simple operations when your data set is very small, just like what we are having. Okay? It is very simple, guys. When you are having a huge task, you are dividing the task into multiple simple tasks and you are trying to achieve it one by one parallelly. The same way here we are going to do. Now let us see how this can be done. First, we need to convert our list into a parallel stream. Numbers dot parallel stream dot map number arrow number star number dot reduce. Again I want to get the sum. It is x plus y. This returns an optional integer value. So you need to use get method. Okay, let me just give control space on this reduce method. If you notice in reduce, there are three methods. We have already worked with the first method and the second method in multiple number of times. In the first case, the return type is an optional integer. Why? If the accumulation is not happening, if some error occurs, if the value is not available, or if some exception occurs, we cannot send it directly because it may throw the exception directly. Rather, we can capture it in optional and call get method to return the value. But in the second case, we are getting the output directly. See this? The return type is integer. Why? Because the first parameter is the default value. Even if the second computation using binary operator is throwing an exception, or if the value is not available, it is not going to affect your method at all. It will return the proper integer value, which can be your identity. That is the default value. So it is your choice. You can use any one of this. I am using this second one because I want to provide the initial value as 1. I don't have to call dot get method. So the same thing is for this also. Here we are using the second overloaded method of reduce. It is having the default value as 1. So I can get it as an integer value directly. In this case, I am using the first method int binary operator. So obviously it will return an optional int. If I don't want to have it as an optional int, I want to get the int value directly, means then I can give a default value. See? Now the return type will become int. Can you see this? Okay. Let me not modify this program. We'll go back here. I hope this part is clear. Int total. This is so total. For array also, let us convert it into a parallel stream. So the method is arrays.stream pass numbers array dot parallel dot map number arrow number star number dot sum. The return type is an int value. So let me get it in the same variable, total equal to, and print total. So I hope it is clear. Let me run this. If you notice, we are getting two different outputs for the same set of values. Why? Because we have given a default value as 1. For each and every operation, this 1 is getting added. So it is getting added 5 times. That is why we are getting it as 5505. We are trying to get only the sum. So we can have the default value 0. Int sum is equal to 0. Sum plus equal to x. That is the meaning. In case of product, you cannot give 0. If you give 0, what will happen? The complete output will be 0. So that be very careful. If you give 1, every time it is getting added. Let me run it. Yeah, perfect. Now we have got the output. So I hope it is clear. We have seen 15 coding interview questions in Streams API using a list of integers and array of numbers. If you are having any other question with regard to this, you can share it in the comment section. If you have reached this far, this means by this time you will be comfortable working with Streams API with a list of integers and the array of numbers. This will also help you to work with a list of user-defined objects using Streams API. Working with the user-defined objects is very crucial in any Java development project. The reason being, this is the most important use case that is dealt with in each and every application. So, in the next video, let us discuss about the top coding interview questions in Streams API using user-defined objects. That's it. Thank you.